Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and more Cities Skylines. Green Cities playing in New Pravsburg. And we had a little bit of a problem at the very end of the last video. I don't think I called it out exactly, but we had a lot of farms go out of business because they can't find workers. Clearly this is going to be a substantial problem, but fortunately we did expand our residential zoning a little bit. I just don't know if it's going to be enough because we're forcing everyone to be sustainable. Sustainability, it turns out, not the most economically efficient thing I've ever seen, but maybe eventually it'll work out. We'll get some workers eventually. I think we'll be okay. Hey, one thing I forgot to mention in the last video, I realized it after I was editing it. I forgot to say that this map that I'm playing on is called Delvin Bay. It is created on the Steam Workshop by Bugfix, and it's a pretty nice looking map. So this is not in the base game. This is something that was added in, and I just picked it up because, heck, it looks pretty nice. Alright, one thing I did notice also as I was editing the last video is I kind of messed up a few of these freaking turbines. Yeah, some of these wind turbines are going to be kind of far from the wind. 6 megawatts? That's just not good enough. No, we need to spread these things out a little bit more. It would be worth relocating the building at least a little bit. Like, for example, right here, will give me 8 megawatts. I see that as just a net increase no matter what. It's going to cost me a tiny little bit of money to do this, but I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest. If it translates into more power so I have less problems, hey, who doesn't like that? I also want to rename some of this stuff. I don't like Primrose Park being the name of this thing. You know what we're going to call it? We're going to call it the Bengal Fields. Just because I think that's a little bit nicer. Alright, and for over this, we're going to call... This is kind of like Old Town, the way I see it. This is going to end up being Old Town. So you know what we're going to call it? We're going to call it Old New Pravsburg. There we go. That's not going to be confusing at all. It is the old of the new. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what I wanted to do in this particular video is I want to start changing up some of the roads here. Because as it is right now, we don't need this anymore. We have access to the beautiful avenues, which should make things a little bit easier for us. So we're going to go ahead and start picking up some of those. There you go. And if I just run an avenue right down the middle, well, if I'm going to do that, I have to get rid of some of these other roads. Sorry, guys. I'm going to lose a little bit of money as I try to rearrange. But there we go. Nice big avenue. Oh, could you please snap to the right thing? Okay, fine. Turn off some of these grids and stuff. Can you please... Road grid line? Nope. Okay, road length. Why the heck don't you want to connect to this? Because this intersection's in the way, you say? That's stupid. You know what? Fine. Screw it. I didn't like this road anyway. I didn't like this entire neighborhood anyway. Say goodbye to all your houses. I am ruining hopes and dreams right now. This is the power of the city builder. Gosh dang it, get away from this thing. Alright, clear what I need to do then is just actually delete this row, because it's not understanding that these things are actually supposed to be joined up to begin with. Little frustrating, but there we go. That should now solve the problem. Yes, click, drag, and boom. Okay. Now we have an avenue. Yes, that is way better. And you know something, for good measure, I'm going to get rid of these roads as well. This is maybe a tiny bit of overkill. It is entirely possible. But I don't like their faces. I don't like having them there. Can you guys go here real quick in there? Yes. Okay, good. Wonderful. I'm also going to get rid of all these one-way roads, and I can just do some simple upgrades. Change this around, and there we go. We're freeing it up. And now, of course, we're introducing traffic lights, but at this point, I think the city is large and spread out enough that we shouldn't have to control traffic quite this much. And with some strategic placement of the avenues... that will work just fine as well for controlling the lifeblood of the city. Okay, now that we've cleared off some of this coastline, what I want to do is actually start building some roads kind of along the edges. What I'm debating is just placing a simple kind of shoreline road and let people build their houses on one side, and then we'll try building off some marinas and other forms of water tourism over here. Or, alternatively, I think under the landscaping... is it landscaping? Water structures. Can we build a quay? Let's see. Yes, indeed, we can. Upkeep is 11 cents per week per cell. So, if we wanted to build a quay, kind of a wall right along here, this would be interesting. We could kind of wall this all off, and then kind of build the roads to match it. It's not a bad idea. We might try that. Only thing I can think to do, though, is use the freeform tool to try and make this work. Which is going to be a little bit more finicky than I think I was expecting, but we might be okay. Just kind of follow it along right like this. There we go. Well, this isn't too bad, actually. Oh, hang on. A little bit of a curvature. If we place here, and kind of around like this. There we go. There we go. We're building a quay, guys. Okay, and just like that, we have some proper ocean, bayside, I don't know. I assume this goes out to an ocean. Bayside property. A good little wall right here. And if I want to be really clever with it, what I could do, if I can find the pathing tools, road condition, no, hang on. This might be under landscaping as well. Paths, yes. If I take the paths and get, let's say, gravel, bike lane, or just a simple pavement path, probably pavement. We can probably run this right alongside the quay. Maybe not quite that close. My thought here is that it would be quite nice to have the option for people to walk alongside the quay if they want to. I think they already can, but we can broaden this out just a tiny little bit. And if it's not going to work the way I want it to, we do have the Move It tool, so we can try to fix some of the nodes and tighten things up. Like over here, for example, I kind of messed this area up. If I use the Move tool, we should be able to tighten it just a teensy-weensy bit. Some kind of like this might work. And something like that should be good. Okay, so if I turn off that key, there we go. Perfect. So now we have a nice little walking path that follows the key just perfectly. And now I feel like we can go ahead and build some roads. Now, if we do want to have some sort of water tourism, we can go to the parks and plazas and recreational stuff under tourism and leisure. There's a nice little fishing pier we can place right there. Also some fishing tours, jet ski rental, beach volleyball court. Must be placed at a roadside. Oh, that could be kind of fun. A riding stable? That's not really water-themed, but, you know, I appreciate the effort. Marina. Aha. $15,000. Moorings for pleasure yachts and small boats. And a restaurant pier. Kind of expensive. Interesting that the city feels a need to run a restaurant, but, hey, I'm not opposed. Whatever makes me money. Ow. Well, I thought putting roads right next to the walking lanes would be a good idea, but it appears to have just broken the graphics of absolutely everything. We can fix this. Move tool. What would I ever do without you? The natural banking of the road is unfortunate, though, because it's not letting me get much buildings in here. So what we're going to do instead is see if I can use the terraform tool. Landscaping, soften terrain, maybe that would help. Slope terrain, not really. Level it. Would this help? Whoa! Oh, dear. Hi, that's not what I meant to do at all. Uh-oh. And I'm using up almost all of my money to do this. This is a good investment, I'm sure. Absolutely. Well, it's not perfect, but I'll mess with it a little bit later to try and increase my zoning area here. The terraforming's a bit annoying, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. Anyway, just a couple of quick roads right between here. Maybe a quick avenue like so, just so I have plenty of traffic coming off of the main road. And that should be good enough to actually get kind of a nice little boardwalk. Lots of commercial districting right along here. Not that I need commercial per se, but it just makes sense to me that you have a lot of shops kind of along a boardwalk of sorts. Yes, a boardwalk. And then maybe over here we'll create some more residential areas just off of the bay. Now, if we do want to get some marinas going and such, that wouldn't be too bad, would it? Can we get, like, let's say, a restaurant on the pier right over here? $2,500 is a lot of money, though. Let's start kind of simple. Let's go ahead and get myself a quick little fishing pier over here. And a little fishing pier over here. There we go. It technically counts as a park, and it makes some nearby people happy. But there we go. We're actually officially making use of our waterfront. There we go. A bit of extra residential zoning here behind the shops. A little space in between the roads isn't going to hurt anybody. It just means extra trees and stuff like that. But there we go. More residential space, shops along the shoreline. Yeah, in the long term, I think this is going to make a great tourism area, especially once we start getting some high-density buildings. Do we have any new policies we could pass in old new Pravsburg that would actually get rid of some of this pollution? Because it's quite bad right now. Let's see. Parks and recreation. Moderately increased land value around parks and plazas. It doesn't say that it costs me anything, but I have to imagine that there is a cost. Let's see. Extra insulation doesn't matter. School's out. No. I think in some areas there's going to be the option for us to reduce industrial waste and force them to filter it somehow. Maybe it's under city planning? Oh, wait, that might be it. Filter industrial waste. There we go. It's going to cost us a little bit of money for every industrial building, but it reduces pollution, which I think would be great. All right, now we have to go back to the city basics. Let's get a little bit more sewage output. I am a little concerned about the sewage output being so close to my city. At some point, this could be considered, I don't know, a little gross. It would be good to move this even further downriver or down the bay if we could, but for now, don't think I have a whole lot of choice. Plenty of electricity now, so that's looking good. We're a little low on garbage. And what we could do is probably put down another recycling center somewhere. Maybe one right here actually wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, this recycling center can serve the entire area. And it's just recycling. It's not that gross. Shouldn't smell that bad. All right, seems we've solved a lot of our worker problems. We do have a quick little abandoned thing there. There we go. Oh, nope, I deleted the wrong farm. I'm sorry, I eminent domained a perfectly profitable business. Please forgive me. Okay, there we go. Okay, how are we doing as far as our schooling? Capacity's fine with the exception of high school. Uh-oh. Power broke. What happened? We did something. Somehow we broke power over here. I'm completely out of power. What did I do? I do not know, but we did something. Okay, what are our options? Well, if we had more money, we could get a geothermal power plant. Cannot afford an oil power plant. So we may have to go for some advanced wind turbines, and if we put some out here, we could get 20 megawatts each, which is not too bad, I think. Would this be considered quite ugly? I don't know. Maybe if we place one like right over here, this make sure the sewer is always powered, and the extra 20 megawatts might be enough to solve my problems. Well, maybe. Or maybe not. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden, these new residential areas are just draining all of my power. Who would have thought that would happen? You know what we need? More parks. Parks would be good to help raise up the land value and make everybody happy. Out in a suburb like this, I think a good old-fashioned baseball field might be in order. Where can we place that, though? Right over here, maybe. That could be kinda nice. Alright, we'll give you guys a baseball field. Now, it is occurring to me that maybe I want to have some other way of accessing this neighborhood besides just getting on the highway just to get off of the highway. Some sort of a road from the city would be good. This may mess up the traffic patterns a little bit, but I think we may have to try. Right here, for example, could be a really good candidate for trying to get a road that goes over the highway and then lands up right over here. So let's try doing something kind of like that. We're going to go over straight out and then around, page up. Yeah, go like that, and then across. Well, maybe. Hang on, we can make this work, I'm sure of it. There we go, straight across, down over here, and then page down to join up here. Okay, only destroyed one building in the process, but there we go. Now we have another way of getting in. Just a little bridge, okay. We might want to have another one, though. What would be a good candidate? I mean, we need to fill out a lot more of this space. This corner right over here could become a major traffic area if we wanted it to. Could join something up right along here, I think. That's not a bad idea. All right, we'll do exactly that. Oh, there we go. Now we're a big town. Population of 6,000. More areas available. New taxation policies. Level 5 buildings. A blimp, apparently. Ooh, that's kind of cool. IT clusters. A new office specialization. Haven't messed with that before. Leisure specialization. Lots of new policies. New zoning. High density. Oh, that'll be fun. Blimp pathway. Fishing island. Incineration plant. University. We have access to metros. Prisons. Blimps, stops, and things like that everywhere. Are blimps new? Because I don't feel like that's typical technology. We also have access to things like a solar updraft tower, deep space radar, so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. All right, so now we have better access into this area, and I am quite happy with how this is turning out. Apparently, we also had a small forest fire over here. I don't think we actually lost any buildings, but this would be concerning to the average person. But not us. Nope, we know that it's just a few trees nearby going up. It's in another neighborhood. Whoa, I take it back. There is a single building on fire. Although, ironically, it's pretty far away from the rest of the fire, so how that happened? I'm not too sure, but we are on it, apparently. We're going to try mixing in a little bit of high-density residential in a few areas and just sort of see if that takes. I'm also thinking that maybe we go ahead and de-zone this and replace it with some offices. See if we can actually get some other office buildings. Just something to kind of increase the overall value of the city. Time to start going for high-rise, you know? Maybe we'll get some extra money that way. Maybe it'll attract new clientele. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. There we go. Some sort of high-density residential going in now. The Meadow residence, the Pine residence, the Hawthorne residence. And they can definitely house a lot more people, so that's good. Yeah, and we're starting to get some offices in here as well. Oh, that's lovely. I like it. Okay. Expanded out the suburbs down here in Bengal Fields a little bit. We probably do need to increase the district side to make sure we're building the right stuff, though. Just realized we might start building unsustainable housing. I know, for shame. We should never allow that in New Pravsburg. So I'm wondering if we want to start moving towards something like geothermal power, because right now this outputs about 80 megawatts. It does cost $65,000 up front, which is pretty expensive, but it doesn't output any pollution at all, which is kind of interesting. So at $1,000 per week for 80 megawatts, as opposed to, let's say, a turbine, which is $80 a week for up to 8 megawatts, 10 of those would be equivalent in power in optimal settings and would cost $800 a week. So, in theory, then the geothermal is a bit more consistent, but also a tiny bit more expensive. Still, could be kind of interesting. What if we place it like over here in the industrial area where it really doesn't matter about the noise pollution? That could be kind of cool. Alternatively, we have the solar updraft tower, which outputs 240 megawatts at the cost of $2,240 per week, which is a little less than $100 per megawatt, like what, $80, $90 per megawatt? That's actually also pretty comparable to the wind turbine at $80 or $10 per... No, is that correct? Really? Hang on. No, I'm sorry, I'm miscalculating this. This is a little bit cheaper than $10 per megawatt. I'm sorry. So this actually might be a better value in terms of cost than even wind turbines. Oh, now that is interesting. So maybe solar updraft is the way to go. Warmth generated by sunlight is what powers the power plant. The warm air goes up, turning the blades of fans that produce electricity. The large batteries within the building allow it to store electricity and not be affected by day and night. It doesn't produce any pollution at all. It's just very, very expensive. Still, if I were to place some of these and I can start getting rid of some of these wind turbines, and maybe this is the better way to go. We'll wait until we actually start having another electricity crisis, because right now, for whatever reason, we seem to be overproducing like crazy, but that will be one very, very tantalizing option for me, although I am kind of partial to geothermal just for the novelty of it, at the very least. But okay. So let's see. Crime rate is quite low. Jail availability is fine. Most of our town is covered by our fire stations. Most of it. We could use another one off in this general direction, which I'm not opposed to. Let's place one, let's say... we'll have kind of a little community fire station right here. That should be fine. Access down here is a little low, but otherwise not too bad. The industrial area, of course, is the most hazardous, but we do have plenty of access, so I'm not feeling too scared about that. As far as our health care is concerned, we have good coverage over here, reasonably good coverage over here, thanks to our clinics, so I think we'll be more or less okay. If we could reduce our pollution, that would go a long way to improving things, I think. But okay. We actually have some commercial demand coming in right now. Oh, that's kind of fun. I don't see that happen often enough these days. Let's go ahead and get a quick round of roads. Actually, I was going to say let's have some roads connect down here, but we could be more efficient with the space if we didn't. What if we did something like this, though? I'm kind of curious. Would this work? Not easily, no. What if I came out this way? Hang on. Maybe. I'm onto something. It's something kind of like... it's going to look a little weird. It's something kind of like this. Yes, I think we could get away with setting up a whole bunch of new offices here. I am going to use the move tool, though, just to make this a little bit more efficient in its spacing. Kind of like this, maybe? Yeah, kind of like that should be all right. Good, yes. More office spaces. And then we'll have a quick little road that comes in, let's say... Can I fit 2, or do I want 1? We could probably fit 2, but I'll do 1, and we'll have, like, some parks or something in between. So let's place another road right along like that. There we go. And I'll just zone these up with some more office spaces or maybe some high-density commercial. Just to start moving toward those high-rise structures, because I think that's the way of the future. Wait, offices count as industrial, don't they? But they don't... Oh, yes, they do. Okay, industrial demand will drive the offices. So, yes, we want to have... more high-density commercial, then. That's what we're looking for. There we go. In comes some high-density commercial. That should be nice. A multimedia center. A couple of them right across the street from each other. Oh, you had all this space to build out, but you're like, you know what? No. We want to have a good old-fashioned rivalry. Hi, hot dog man. Did you get a delivery order? I don't know. Discount sales. Buy it all shop. Buy it all shop. Discount sales. Shop till you drop. These guys aren't very good at spacing out their businesses, are they? No. I don't think they did their market research. It does appear that the pollution is spreading a little bit over here. Makes me, tad bit nervous. Do we have any other way of treating the water yet? No, not until we have a population of 28,000. Good lord. It's going to be a while before we can get rid of any of this pollution. I'm so sorry, planet Earth. I don't mean to do it. The game just won't let me do anything different. You know what we can do, though? We can actually expand out Bengal Fields just across the river. Right over here. Create a bridge or something. That could be kind of nice. Let's see. If I wanted to do that, what would that be involved? Well, that just looks silly. Look at that. It's going straight into the ground. No. That's ridiculous. We're not going to do that, of course. We're going to go page up. Something kind of like this. Directly across, kind of. Sort of. There we go. And then page down. Okay. There we go. That is a much more reasonable bridge, game. I don't know why you thought that it would jut out of a mountain like that, but that's just not safe. Okay, we're also going to do something right over here, I think. Now, that created a reasonable-looking bridge. Well, no, it didn't. That's stupid-looking. I hate that bridge. Rebuild. Much better. Okay, and over here, since we have a load more fertile land, we might as well get some more farms going, right? I think so. I mean, the way I see it, we have this entire tile. We might as well start expanding in this direction, right? And make use of the fertile land. Could be pretty valuable. That said, we actually could start expanding a little bit more if we wanted to. Grab something over here, for example, like that. Yeah, that could be pretty good. $6,000, I can afford that. Let's build that. And let's also purchase this tile, too. Now I own a heck of a lot more of the coastline. We can develop that into something useful. And more importantly, I can get the dang pollution as far away from here as possible. I'm not even kidding. Let's actually do exactly that. I'm going to go ahead and make use of the relocating tool just because that is a cheaper way of doing things. Since I don't plan on building 4 new ones entirely. Of course, we're going to have to run power all the way out here, but I don't think that's going to be too hard. It's pretty easy to run power lines, turns out, and piping. It's really no challenge for this modern age. All right, let's hook you up like so. Dope. And then all the way over here. Out of range. Out of city limits. Oh, I'm sorry. This tiny little corner right here is apparently going to make things unnecessarily difficult. Well, thank you. The important thing is we're moving our pollution somewhere else. I mean, we're still polluting. It's just out of sight, out of mind, right? If you don't see it happening, it's okay. I think ultimately what I'd like to do is if I'm going to have regular industrial, just like actually have nothing but farming, and then get rid of these smoky factories and replace them with proper office buildings. Just because it's a cleaner and happier city, you know? I don't know. I kind of like that idea. That said, if we are going to do something like this, we need to get some new services up, and this is going to be a little expensive, but we can afford it. We'll get ourselves a clinic over here. Clinic over here. We need to get ourselves a new fire station. Maybe something kind of like right here is going to have to be good enough. We'll also get some police. Something kind of like this. There we go. And we need some new schools. Single elementary school over here would be pretty good. Yeah. Wouldn't even mind having another high school, frankly, because this entire area could use one. Yeah, let's see if we can place one right over here. There we go. Our capacity's been pretty low for a while anyway. Okay, and also some parks to beautify the area while I am at it. Why not? Let's see. Dog park certainly would be popular in this area, I have no doubt. We'll place one right over... right here, I think will be fine. And anything else that I want? So let's see. Cobblestone Plaza, Modern Art Plaza, a few things that I modded in that I don't think I really need. Fountain sounds a little bit too much. Let's see. Plaza with picnic tables, yeah. Some sports stuff. Why wasn't the baseball field sorted down here? I feel like it should have been, mod developers. Okay, track and field, a little expensive. Tennis club. I mean, this one's clay, so you know it's better. More professional. Yeah, we'll just build probably some large parks over here. We're also going to place down a university. I know it's very expensive. The university costs a good $1,900 per week and $75,000 in cash, but it is a requirement if we want to be able to move on to higher level industry, which not only will produce more taxes, but also should produce less pollution. At least that is the hope. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and place a university somewhere out here, and then maybe I'll just surround it by some trees and stuff. Nothing too fancy, but I would like to beautify a little bit. Let's say turn on the paintbrush, something kind of over here, and then just do some trees off in this direction. Whoop, maybe not. Hang on. Brush. Those are the wrong-looking kind of trees. Awkward. It's fine, though. Maybe some kind of park would make more sense. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to put a botanical garden right next to the university? Yeah, I think that would look kind of cool. Okay, and then if we wanted to, we could place some sort of pathing right in between, just to give people some way to walk. Let's say I put it right along here, for example. And maybe we can give people, well, it's kind of tight, but I think we could do something kind of in here. Turn off all this snapping. The snapping's annoying me. There we go. Place you right around there. No, I don't really know what the point is of adding in all these walking paths. I mean, if we're trying to cut between blocks and stuff, it would make a lot more sense, but And the other thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and de-zone some of this industrial area and start replacing it with some office buildings because I do want to start making that transition. I think that could be pretty good for us in the long run. Anything to reduce that horrible, horrible smog that is currently smothering the city. And then as a final touch before we end this video, let's see if I can throw in any extra parks, some sort of water feature. A marina? That could be good. We'll place one, a marina, sorry. Place one right over here. Yeah, maybe one down here, actually. Since this area could use a little bit of loving in the park department, and then we could put a restaurant along here. Sure. And, maybe a jet ski rental. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we have lots of entertainment, guys. Come, please. Move into New Pravsburg. We have a great boardwalk experience. You're gonna love it, I promise. All right, well, that's going to have to be good enough to end this video. But thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.